Joe Burrow. First of all, can we get the guy a goddamn offensive line? I mean, holy shit, dude. Bro. He just gets battered. Dude. Like, if that kid had any time in the pocket, he might have 9 Super Bowls, the way how calm and composed he is. The minute he snaps the ball, his head's going to come off. Like, I don't understand how they still have not, in free agency or trading pieces away, gotten him an O-lineman or a couple that can at least block, dude. Yeah. Like, it is actually astonishing how little time he has. Welcome back to another episode of TFM Bets, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe how bad I am at betting the NFL.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday.
What a weekend it was of football, of sports, of betting, everything.
It was a good weekend. I just wanted to start the show, off the top. Just wanted to really quickly, to my Niners and to my Bengals bettors, I don't think any of the responsibility should be on us. We lost every quarterback that the Niners had to offer. The refs clearly had Kansas City, and I don't want to accept responsibility for just being a bad gambler. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say the Niners were a good look if we didn't lose our quarterbacks, and I think the Bengals win if the refs don't have the Chiefs. So,
I mean, I think if you make that case to the bookie, he might understand.
he might pull the Venmo back. Like, you know what? I'm going to subtract your losses from the Niners game and the Bengals game. Yeah, send this to your bookie. Listen, it was not their fault that they took the Niners and the Bengals. There's no way that they could have known you'd be down to the 5th string quarterback on the Niners and then he would get hurt. And there's no way that he could have known that the refs would be on the Chiefs. So I think you should, mitigate his losses. But if he took the over, you should for sure charge him for that one.
I mean, tough beat for Niners bettors. It wasn't really a bad beat at all. But, I mean, kind of when Purdy went down in the first quarter, it was – oops. Little alarm. I wasn't sure. I was tucked in last night after my 2 dubs, so I wasn't sure if I was going to wake up in time.
Tucked in. Wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah, but I couldn't help but think, like, what was it, Josh Johnson, his name was? Mm-hmm. Came out, had a legacy game. Well, what would the Niners do with their quarterback situation?
It's just like at that point, you're just like, it doesn't matter who's there.
That dude's been in the league 15 years.
And he didn't look great. So
no, I mean,
it might be time to hang him.
You can't really blame him for not showing out in the NFC Championship game. But
no, I don't blame him at all. That wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind. I just need to know. I need to know a couple things. I need to know how bad the injury is for Brock. I need to know how serious it was.
It's definitely...
Because clearly he couldn't throw the ball at all. The only throws he could get off are real quick dump-offs.
I didn't even see him do any of that.
That were 3 yards in front of him.
I just saw him pitching shit.
But again, it's like the script was there. McCaffrey started running the ball.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles cannot stop the run. And if Brock Purdy could even toss the ball, I think the Niners had a real chance of beating that team.
I feel bad for any Brock Purdy prize picks bettors because if he stays out of the game in the first quarter for the rest of the game, you would have got the reboot policy. Mm. However, he came in the second half for 3 snaps just to hand the ball off, and that doesn't qualify. So tough beat there. I don't know why he just didn't stay out the rest of the game. There was really no use for him.
Well, because Josh got hurt, so then it was you got to put someone else in.
I was really looking forward to seeing McCaffrey at quarterback and running some wildcat bullshit.
Yeah, but then they were saying we had some people over and they were saying on the couch too, it's just so you can't have McCaffrey be a quarterback for a full half, dude.
No.
The looks, they were saying he probably doesn't know the full plays.
Yeah.
He knows his job in every play, but he doesn't know what looks to look at, what routes they're running. Dude, it would have been a mess. But also just handing the ball off a million times also wasn't a great look.
I thought our prize picks was cooked before the game because I saw a stat. The Eagles haven't allowed a rusher to get more than 70 yards in 12 games.
I knew he was gonna run rampant.
And so I was like, oh, nice job, Mikey. Wish I would have saw this before the fucking game.
I knew he was going to run rampant.
And it got bumped down, too.
Wow.
We got it at 62.5. It went down to 54.
How did we do?
So your pick hit with McCaffrey.
Both my picks hit. Thanks for selling.
Did they both hit?
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
I want everyone to go back to the last episode, go to the Sneak Nuke presented by Prize Picks, and see that Trent served up the ooeyest of the gooeyest cake for the Prize Picks entry. I delivered 2 greened out gobbling Tinos.
Where is this entry, bro?
I'm looking at it right here.
Let me see it. Dude, I knew Kelsey was too high. I knew he was too high. After a legacy game.
Too high.
After a legacy game the week before, how many targets did he get? 8?
8.
Damn. And I think he had like 8 catches.
Probably, yeah. His yards were probably free too. I mean, I don't know what we're doing.
I don't know. I mean,
I just don't know what I'm doing. When it comes to football, I literally had some kid in my DM last night, and it was like one of the first and only DMs where I was like, damn, like he's really got a point. And he was just like, yo, I've never seen someone be so good at one sport and so horrendous at another. Like, dude, he was like, your college basketball stuff, I will ride until I'm dead. And he was like, your NFL shit might be the worst on the internet. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with you, because I use the same logic and like reading into games that I do in college basketball for football. Obviously taking the different sports into account. I'm not like, this works in college basketball, so it works in football. But the way that I look at games, and I literally cannot hit the ocean if I jumped out of a boat betting on the NFL.
I feel like you bet with your heart too much in the NFL than you do with college b-ball. College b-ball, you know your shit. Like, I feel like you're better at college b-ball than any sport individually I am at. You know your shit. You stick to your gut. Fuck the sharps. Fuck the line movement. And, like, you're having great success with it.
Mm-hmm.
But with football, I feel like that shit matters way more. And, like, did you really think Brock Purdy was going to go into Philadelphia and win that game? Like,
but
no.
Dude, he might have. He got hurt. So I don't get the whole Brock Purdy narrative. He got hurt. So that one I chalked up to the game. I was like, you know what? Like, you never know what could have happened in that game. Obviously, the Eagles came out, looked great. It's also very easy to play defense when you know the other team can't throw the ball. So they just stacked the box all the rest of the whole second half.
Niners defense is unreal.
Unbelievable.
They kept him in that game for way longer than they should have.
Dude, way longer without they didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, George Kittle was literally on the stand, and they asked him how he felt about it, and he was like, how do I feel that we lost the championship game because we didn't have a quarterback? Pretty shitty.
Yeah.
It's like, they asked him the dumbest questions. But I saw something on Twitter, and it was like, let's just remember that the Eagles put up 31 points on the Niners defense. Like, yeah, because the Niners were punting for 4 quarters straight and put the Eagles in field position to score every 2 minutes because they were 3 and out. So nice. I feel like the Eagles, dude, I just don't know. I really don't think the Eagles are that good. I think Jalen Hurts is pretty good. I think the Chiefs matchup is shocking to me that it's Eagles opened up at 2-point favorites.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think
the Chiefs are banged up a little bit, which makes sense. The Eagles are very healthy, and that Chiefs secondary is not good. So I think Jalen Hurts is probably going to be able to have a field day. But I don't know, dude. I feel if you're in that Niners organization right now and you're in the front office, like, what are your thoughts right now? You've basically had a team that can win a Super Bowl 3 years in a row now. Yeah,
I mean, definitely tough way to go out. But they've been in the conversation as the best team in football in the last 4 years, and they're just a piece away. And I think they have the pieces to make moves to get them, to the Super Bowl. They just need a franchise QB, a guy they can stick with, a guy who's going to rally the team. They've got so many captains and leaders, but I just feel like they're missing that centerpiece to it all. They've got a stacked defense. They've got every piece you need on offense but a quarterback.
Yeah.
But they have 3 solid options, but I feel like they need their guy, And
it might be Trey. You never know. He might come back and it might be Trey. But I agree with you. I think really just a quarterback way. But let's talk about that game for just like a little bit, right? I fell asleep after Purdy got hurt. I was like, I'm not doing this shit. Like, I'm literally not doing this shit. Sometimes, like, when I'm betting on shit and something happens, I just need to take myself out of it. I'll either like go on my phone or I'll turn it off. But since, we're all watching together, I'm not going to be like, all right, can we turn the game off? So I was like, I'm just going to close my eyes. I wasn't even tired. But I was like, I'm literally just going to close my eyes. I just can't do this right now. Like, he's fucking hurt. We're going to have a bot come in. Like, I'm going to open my eyes and either the Niners are down 40 or like somehow this 5th string guy, Josh Johnson, is going to pull off a miracle and we'll be tied. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. Like I'm literally just gonna go to bed. So I remember I fell asleep and I wake up and I like look over at the TV and I see like Brock Purdy's like on the sidelines and I go, is Brock in yet or what? And I just vividly remember, I can't see you because I have the pillow here. I just vividly remember hearing, might as well just go back to bed, Mike. I was just like, God damn it.
Just go back to bed, Mike.
You were like, hey, might be a good look to go back to bed. And I was like, but it was so odd though. Like half of Twitter was being like, why is Brock Purdy scared? Half of Twitter was like, Brock Purdy's really hurt. But it just looked so, I don't know. It felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. It was like he's on the bench walking around feeling fine or looking fine. They're like rolling out his elbow. They're not doing any active treatment on him. It never seemed like they were doing any sort of treatment on him. And then the announcer was like, it's a nerve thing. He might not be able to feel his entire arm. And like this whole bit, but it just never felt like, you know what I mean? I don't know. When a player gets injured, normally you're like, all right, like he steps off the field, we're work, trying to get something. It felt like he was never getting worked on.
Yeah. And
he was just walking around not showing any like pain. So I was like, what is going on? If it was a nerve thing, that's so unfortunate. But it was just so like weird having a Niners plus 2.5 ticket and watching that go down and just being like, is he good or not? Like, what is going on?
I feel like the NFL camera crews and the networks like have new precautions with how they cover injuries with the whole, Damar Hamlin thing. So I feel like they definitely provide less coverage on like updates on that. But his elbow is for sure chalked. If you go look and watch the replay of the angle that it twisted in, like there's no way that shit wasn't dying in pain.
I mean, I give him credit. He stayed out there.
Yeah.
But let's talk the game. Talk to me about the Eagles because you chose them to win the Super Bowl. Beating the Niners is never easy. Obviously, it's a little bit easier when they literally don't have a quarterback. But talk to me about the Eagles now. How do you feel about the Eagles going into the Super Bowl?
I just think they're more of the complete team. I hate betting against Mahomes. I never do it, actually. I've done it like once this whole year. It didn't work out well. Shout out the Bucka Bozos. But no, I'm confident going into this. I think I made the right pick on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I said this when during the wild card round that I thought this would be the Super Bowl. But I do hate betting against Mahomes. He's absolutely goated. But I just think the Chiefs are way more banged up. The Eagles on both sides of the ball are healthy. They're hungry. And I feel like this is definitely their year.
So we did talk about it, and I had the take that I think whoever comes out of the AFC wins the Super Bowl. I also said I think Jalen Hurts gets one by the end of his career. This might be the one if the Chiefs are as banged up as the Chiefs are, but you get 2 weeks now. They get a 2-week break to figure everything out, get everyone healthy, get everyone back on track. The more time you give Pat with that ankle to get right, the more dangerous he's going to be. I mean, you saw it a little bit during the game. He was favoring it slightly. He definitely wasn't able to be as mobile. He did take a couple of hits. But all in all, he can definitely play on the ankle, so it's not a problem. But I just think it's going to be one of those situations where the guy that has been there before closes it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young guys in this Eagles team, especially that offense, that have never made the big dance before, that have never been in a situation like that. The Chiefs are coming in with both sides of the ball, like almost half their roster being like, oh, dude, we've been here before. We've done this dance before. We've played Tom Brady. We've played X, Y, and Z. Like, we've been here before. You know what I mean? So I'm actually really excited for the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Jalen Hurts handles the moment. I mean, he's just an all-time dude. I love the guy, an all-time dude. In the locker room, his speeches, he really gets the people going. I think, but I think, again, it's going to be the guy that's been there before.
So you got the Chiefs winning this shit.
I think so.
Wow.
But I'm gonna give it I'm gonna take the 2 weeks. I'm gonna take the 2 weeks. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna decide what I want, and then I'm gonna go from there. But I think if my early lean, because I already said it, is I think whatever team comes out of the AFC wins.
Wow.
I think that Eagles offensive line is fantastic, but that D-line on the Chiefs is going to be a problem. I think the D-line for the Eagles is going to be a problem for the Chiefs as well. I think the matchup is really there, and it's just going to come down to which quarterback has the ball last, I would assume.
It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be so
wait. Good. We'll be seeing in Arizona. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be boots on the ground.
I'm nuking first touchdown score. Already starting to do my lab work.
You already have it?
No.
I was about to say, are you about to release it on the pod?
No, I don't have it yet.
Okay, but you will.
Crunch the numbers.
Okay. Bengals, Chiefs. Let's talk about that game because we basically watched. I mean, we didn't basically. We watched the whole game together.
Yeah.
Chiefs betters. Holy shit.
I was shitting my pants, bro. There was a moment where it was 2 minutes left on the clock. Chiefs just punted.
Yep.
20-20. Burrow, meat on tape, legacy drive, loading with a chance to take your team to the Super Bowl. I was sitting there in piss, thinking he's about to literally make it Burrowhead again. And thankfully, a couple flags went our way.
A couple.
However, I will say this game was, everyone's bitching about it being rigged. It definitely wasn't rigged.
Okay.
There's justification for all the flags that occurred. I mean, that holding call by Eli Apple was for sure a holding call. That play where technically it didn't happen because the ref, called the play off, didn't even matter because the Chiefs punted anyways. So everyone bitching about this game being rigged for the Chiefs to get back to the Super Bowl, for this narrative of the Super Bowl that's currently out there with the Kelsey, brother matchup and the
the
Andy
NFL
Reid
is
matchup with the Eagles and shit. That shit wasn't rigged, bro. Burrow had so many chances to win that game himself, and he couldn't shut the door.
No, the NFL is definitely a movie, though. I mean, it felt a little bit. I'm not going to say it was rigged because I don't think it was.
It felt like it was, but it wasn't.
Especially as a bettor, I'm not going to be like, it was rigged, man. My Bengals money line ticket should have cashed. But no, I saw a couple things on Twitter. The ref missed 4 huge penalties on the Chiefs in the fourth quarter. There was also a super late hit on Burrow that they didn't call, but then they called the one on Pat to put them in the field goal range to win the game.
That was such a tough play for...
Yeah, dude, that was just unfortunate. But I did see a tweet that I think kind of summed up this game, and it was, if you punt the ball to Tom Brady with 2 minutes and 30...
Should be still talked. Sorry.
It said, if you punt the ball to Tom Brady with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, you lose that football game.
Yeah, facts.
So it's Joe Burrow. First of all, can we get the guy a goddamn offensive line? I mean, holy shit, dude.
Bro.
He just gets battered. Dude. If that kid had any time in the pocket, he might have 9 Super Bowls, the way how calm and composed he is. The minute he snaps the ball, his head's going to come off. I don't understand how they still have not, in free agency or trading pieces away, gotten him an O-lineman or a couple that can at least block, dude.
Yeah.
It is actually astonishing how little time he has.
That was the difference in the game right there.
100%, dude. He got sacked 4 times the first minute.
Yeah.
And it's dude, what? But if you're Joe Burrow, you have to win that game. If you get punted that ball with that much time left on the clock, that's where the great quarterbacks become Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And that's where, Pat Mahomes never leaves it up to chance. I feel like he's always the one that drives and gets it done. Mm-hmm. So if you're Joe Burrow, that's tough. I think as Bengals fans, though, fuck yeah, dude. This is kind of turning into a dynasty now.
For sure.
People want to play for Cincinnati. People want to play for Joe. You've now made it to the dance twice. You didn't make it to the bowl again, but you're showing consistently that this team is going to go deep. And they kind of have a good, they have a great culture that I feel like people are going to want to be a part of for as long as at least Joe Burrow is there. Chiefs fans must be nice.
I saw people weren't too happy with necessarily the culture of Cincinnati yesterday with how they handled the loss, specifically referencing Jack Mack's TikTok. Just the way that, I forget the player's name that pushed Mahomes out of bounds.
Asai or something?
Yeah.
Asai.
But basically he was crying on the bench. Nobody was there to support him, help him up. Dude's going to the locker room. This guy's just sitting on the bench, bawling his eyes out. Just the unsportsmanlike shit that was going on at the end of the game there. But yeah, I saw people weren't too happy with that. Kind of just a bad look a little bit for the Bengals.
I think it's tough though, dude. I feel like we kind of expect a lot out of these guys, but
And they were chirping all week.
Yeah, of course.
You got guys on Twitter saying unnecessary shit.
I think that's also just a reinvigorated sports city that really hasn't seen success like that from their football team, just being excited.
Yeah.
Like if you're from Cincinnati, what do you got, man? The Reds suck. The Bengals are never good. So it's like, oh my God, our football team is great. Like, let's just get behind them. You know what I mean? Where the city of Kansas City is kind of like, I mean, this is normal shit. Like, I don't know why you're talking so much. But no, I feel like stuff like that, dude. I'm never one to be like, yeah, that seems like a toxic whatever. You just lost a chance to go to the Super Bowl off a field goal and a penalty. Dude, I'd be pissed too. I don't think the first thing on my mind would be I'm thinking so much about what I'm doing and the opportunity we just missed out on than being like, where's the guy that got the penalty so I can go give him like a hug. Like, I think like obviously one of his teammates after the game when they had the media come into the locker room stood with him and like did the interviews with him. The guy that had the penalty and was like, listen, we don't really put it on him, whatever, was just being there for him. So, I mean, they were there for him, but in that moment, dude, when that's happening, I think the last thing I would be thinking if I was a Bengals player is like, yo, where can I, like, where's someone else I can be like, yo, are you good? Because I'm fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, I'm fucked up. Like, fuck, dude, I can't believe we just lost a chance to go to the Super Bowl. If I'm on the offensive side of the ball, I'm like, God damn it, why didn't we just do our job?
Yeah. I thought when Burrow completed that pass to Chase on 4th and 6, I thought it was game, bro. In double coverage, like the balls that were on the tape for that play were unbelievable. And Jamar just went X Games mode, made an excellent catch. But I was just like, damn, bro, to come out first drive at halftime, throw an absolute dime to Higgins for a touchdown. I was like, God damn it.
That was electric.
Here we go again, bro. Here we go again with a Chiefs sell job. I was getting flashbacks from last year's game where they blew a 23-point lead at half.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, am I really going to go through this again? I really thought I was. And then he completes that 4th and 6. I'm like, dude, holy fuck. Like,
there's no way.
It's Joe Burrow legacy right now.
I thought it was, dude, because I don't know if you remember when the third quarter started. I was sitting on the couch and I was talking to Dave. And we both were like, there's no way Joe Burrow marches on his first drive and scores to start the second half, right? Like, there's no way. And he did. And then it kind of felt like, uh-oh. Yeah. You should have shut that door because now he's coming.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what he did last year. So you're getting flashbacks. I'm sitting there being like, yeah, we've got so much life. It's disgusting. Like, Joe Burrow's about to turn it on in the second half. But it just, I don't know what it was, but it just felt like something in the Bengals, obviously it was him getting pressured like crazy, but it just felt like nothing clicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even on the Chiefs too, I would say it never felt like anything clicked. Like, I really thought it was going to be a shootout Bills-Chiefs style. Like, where they were just slinging the rock and it was going crazy. That's why I took the over. I literally went 0 for 3. But I really thought this game was going to be a shootout. It just felt like neither offense hit that gear that you saw during the regular season or hit that gear when you saw that over-under being like, yeah, these two are about to go at it and it's going to be a legacy game. It was a great game, but it just never felt like those offenses that are normally historically so high firepower hit that click where you were like, oh shit, like they're just slinging now. The defense can't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, the difference here was, I think Tyler Boyd going down was huge. Not having that third, piece, like a Valdez Scouting who went the fuck off. He had like 100 plus yards and a touchdown, a very clutch touchdown. And like that right there is a difference. You know, a third guy to be, taking the game into his hands, taking the eyes off, some of the other receivers. Juju had 1 reception.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of been his thing all year, dude. Yeah. Like, he was really brought in. I feel like his just name is bigger than the player he is at this point. I feel like.
I agree.
Where it's not, like, he's not really a threat, I feel.
Dude, unders on Prize Picks yesterday, it was all day. All day. Any GOAT besides both quarterbacks in that game?
Feasting.
I mean, Brock Purdy unders were fucking free square.
Oh, my God, dude.
There was a square on Prize Picks. It was like Hurts and Purdy over passing yards, 450. They had 110. Yeah.
No way.
I mean, obviously Purdy.
Yeah, I know, but like Jalen Hurts only having 110 is kind of surprising to me, bro. I chalked that game the minute the fucking first snap went. I was like, I've already lost this game. Like, this game is already lost. Like, I could just feel it. But what was I going to say? I said it on the couch, and I feel like I just wanted to say it again. But there are not many athletes that I watch across sports where I'm just, the entire time they're out there, I'm astonished by the things that they're doing. Jamar Chase might be up there in my top 3 athletes where legitimately the guy astonishes me. The shit that he does in the football field.
Top 3.
I think so.
In all sports, Jamar Chase is in your
Like
top.
right now, currently. Like the things he does on the football field, the catches he makes, the routes he's running, it's just like, it blows my mind every time. Like, it really does. Like, when he's on, it's almost like, obviously I'm a big fan of him as well, so that probably plays into it, but it's like watching John Morant when John Morant's on. You're just like, dude, how does he keep doing this shit? Like, how does he keep doing this shit every single time he comes down the floor, every single time Joe throws the ball towards him? But, I mean, last night was just another example of it, though. Like, you're talking about that 4th and 7 one. That catch was absurd, dude. Absurd.
Speaking of absurd catches, how about that one from Devonta Smith?
That was not a catch.
It certainly wasn't a catch.
Yeah, that was the biggest non-catch I've ever seen.
I will openly admit that was not a catch.
I think everybody does now.
Yeah, but I mean, it was tough to see, and I mean, smart of the Eagles to rush to the line and call another play.
Genius, yeah.
But yeah, watch that replay. There's not a catch.
Nuts, though.
Nuts.
To reel it in, though, the fact that he reeled it in and then the ground is what broke it up, but to reel that in first go was like
also
absurd.
on 4th and 3.
Yes, that was a 4th down. You're right, dude. And that's when I knew it was over. Because I was like, Nick Sirianni's got his balls out right now, and I'm going to lose this in awful
I love
fashion.
him. He's dope.
No, he's the best, dude. He like fits. When you find a coach that fits your culture as a city, it just like makes it so easy to buy into a team.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni is Philly. Like, he just reeks of a Philly dude.
Yeah.
So when he coaches the Eagles, you're like, yeah, this is the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, almost like how Andy Reid kind of fits Kansas City. Like, he's not too flashy. He's not too annoying. Like, he's like perfect for Kansas City. Like, great coaches. Bill Belichick is the most New England fucking Massachusetts guy I've ever seen in my life. So it's like when the coach fits the culture, it's almost like you just hit another gear, I feel like, as a team.
Facts.
But no, Sirianni's great. The Eagles are very good. I think it's going to be an unreal matchup. I'm definitely going to take the over in the bowl. I feel like I gotta.
I don't know how you can take an over when we haven't seen one in weeks.
Exactly. It's due.
Both games yesterday, under. All 4 games the week before, all unders.
Due. That means the over is due.
What is the over?
I don't know. Should I look?
Yeah.
All right, can you guess it?
I would say it's 48.5.
I'm going to go 46.5.
Yeah, I think it's 46.5 because
what?
I do. I was gonna
here we go.
swap that, but
I was gonna swap that.
I think it's 47.
47.5.
49.5.
49.5. Wow.
ESPN, I got a 49.5.
Wowie.
How about it? The Eagles are -2. The Chiefs are +2. Money line +110. Money line -130. Wow.
I'd be shocked if that goes.
Oh, and I totally forgot. L'Jarius Sneed for sure got fucked up last night.
Oh,
in the
he's
game, so
definitely
he's probably not
did.
going to play.
Definitely did.
Damn.
Dude, these injuries, man, have been so tough this year.
I also just despise football injuries because you know they're serious.
Yeah.
Every single one is like really serious. Like in an NBA game when fucking Brandon Ingram's got like a bum toe and someone steps on his foot and he's like, and like makes his way to the locker room and they're like, unfortunately, Brandon Ingram is doubtful to return with a stubbed right big toe. You're like, all right, fucking, he's going to be fine. But when you see a football injury, dude, it literally goes, like, it's like, oh my God, you're holding your breath because you're like, this could be devastating for this guy's not just career, but his life.
Yeah.
Like, wild, dude.
And it's really impacted, like, the product on the field, I feel like, this year. So many injuries, so many guys banged up out there, still playing. It sucks. I hate it. I don't really know how you could fix it. But it's just, I feel like this year specifically, we've seen a lot more injuries.
I think so too. I don't know though. It's just been a weird year for injuries as well.
Yeah.
Like every injury has just been so serious.
Yeah.
Where it's like there hasn't been a lot of like, oh, he just twisted his knee or oh, he just like rolled his ankle a little bit. Like every single time there's been injury, it's been like, holy shit, his ankle might be gone.
Yeah.
Or his knee is dead, or he's
Literally.
he's not responding on the field. Like crazy, crazy, crazy shit. But no, we got the Super Bowl coming up. Once the Super Bowl's over, we got college basketball, NBA, NHL. I feel like try to keep this episode a little shorter because just a quick recap, just to let everyone know how the boys were doing. I was drowning on the couch all afternoon. I will officially not be watching another game from this house. So that'll do it for me.
Sure.
No, that'll do it for me. Sitting on that couch and going 0 for 3 in the NFL, that'll do it for me. I can't watch another game from this house.
Just NFL?
I cannot do it.
Just NFL?
I don't know. We're going to have to see.
I mean, you have good success in college.
Providence won as plus Chicky underdogs in the morning. And then I got my soul sucked throughout the day.
Who did
so
they play as plus?
Villanova.
Oh, wow.
In Villanova. Yeah, Providence is back. We're winning the Big East. We're also going to go to the Final Four. Like, this team is fucking so good. It's disgusting.
I'm looking forward to locking in with you in college b-ball.
Yeah, no, I like today's slate too. It's gonna be
You've
good
proved that you know your shit, and it's not just for the bit. Like, you actually know.
for the bit. It's not just for the bit. I don't know. I'm actually pretty good at betting college sports. Professional, it's like I don't even bother with the NBA. I think the NBA is dumb.
Dude, I've been seeing a lot of chirps on social media lately, chirping the NBA and how the product on the court is just not entertaining anymore.
No, the NBA sucks.
And I saw like some guy was like reminiscing on how great basketball used to be, the NBA used to be back in 2014, 15, 16, and I loved it. Like, I became a diehard NBA fan when the Thunder, became a team. I have a bunch of family in Oklahoma City, and I feel like, not a biased take here, I feel like a lot of people feel this way, but like when Durant went to the Warriors, I feel like that ruined the NBA, like, for good.
It ruined the NBA, and then I think also in terms of the product not being as good.
You got dudes, I mean, like the Clippers organization is what's wrong with today's NBA. You don't know who's going to fucking play any given night. Kawhi is sitting out, PG's sitting out, they're both sitting out, they're both going to play, but everybody else is going to sit out. And it's just like, well, one, betting on the Clippers, anything related, sucks. Mm-hmm. Load management, guys aren't playing
Well,
back to
I was
back.
about to say, a lot of it is, back in, like, especially when we were growing up, like, there was none of this whole every guy on the roster is questionable for every game.
Yeah.
It's like if they don't want to play, let's decrease the amount of games they have to play so it matters.
Yeah.
Like, do you know the NHL has, I would say, the same, if not more rigorous schedule as the NBA, and these guys play back-to-backs. I don't think I've ever looked at an NHL game and been like, every single person on the first line is questionable.
Yeah, facts.
Like, when we grew up, dude, it would be like, if you were turning on the Bulls game, you knew Derrick Rose was playing. You knew every single one of these guys. If you turned on the Oklahoma City Thunder game, you knew you were going to get Russ, Harden, Cephalosha, Durant, Serge. None of them were going to be missing.
Yeah.
And it's like you're talking about, it's like, that's why I don't even like betting on the NBA. That's why I don't like watching the NBA, because it's like, oh, let's turn the Celtics game on. And Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart are all in street clothes because they were questionable and it was a game time decision. They decided not to play.
Yeah.
It's like, I have no interest in watching that.
But I used to like just be so passionate and look forward to watching these games, watching, NBA on TNT. That shit used to hype me up so much, and like, I don't know, it's just that hype has died, and it's sad because I still love basketball, but like they got to switch some shit up, bro.
They just need to decrease the amount of games they're playing because clearly they don't care. There's too many games that don't matter.
Yeah, there
like
are.
It doesn't matter.
Like, I get for some of these players, why would you want to play a meaningless game, on a Wednesday in January when it really doesn't mean shit?
Yeah, dude. If you're KD and you're in your mid 30s and you're having a good year, the Nets are kind of competitive. You're like, dude, we could drop a fucking game to the Pacers. I'm not gonna risk hurting myself playing the goddamn Pacers. Like, what? Whereas I feel like back in the day, like you're to 2014, you'd be like, Steph Curry's about to give the Pacers 50.
Yeah.
Like, he's not sitting out. He's going to wear 2 ankle braces, and he's going to play the whole game. But that's kind of why I stopped betting props in NBA shit, because it was every game you go into, if you don't check the injury report, obviously you check the injury report every day, but I got so tiring of being like, dude, half the roster is questionable. Like, my whole thing with player props is the matchup. I don't even know who's going to be guarding this guy. Mm-hmm. It could be some guy off the bench, or 2 minutes before the game, they could be like, yeah, the starter's playing. It's like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I love college basketball and like college sports in general. I think the NFL and the NHL are probably two of the professional sports that are widely consumed in America, where it's fun to watch every single game because it matters. But that's why I love college basketball and college football, because it's like every game they're playing.
No, for sure. And I always thought you and Lauren were crazy saying college sports are 10 times more fun to watch and bet on than pro sports. I still disagree, but like I totally understand now why you have that take, just because I mean we were watching a college b-ball game together and it was like a one sequence late in the second half where these guys, you could just tell, were giving it everything they had.
Everything, dude.
Every rebound was 100% energy. Like every possession was like a methodical, well thought out ball movement, everything. Yep. And I just sat there and watched this. I'm like, I've watched a lot of NBA this year. I haven't seen one sequence look like that.
You haven't seen one. There is rarely in an NBA game one possession where you're like, everyone's trying their hardest.
Yeah.
Right now. Whereas college basketball, dude, it's like they're gonna die on that floor because one, obviously they're battling to get to that next level, but then two, it's like these games matter. Like they want to make the big dance. They want to win their conference. Like rivalries matter. Beating your rival matters, dude. When the Celtics and the Lakers play, I think this was the first time in 5 years that a Celtics-Lakers game had any sort of emotion behind it.
For sure.
When we were growing up, dude, and you had Paul Pierce and Kobe Bryant, you didn't miss that game.
No, you watched that
game. For a solid 5 years, I don't remember the last time I was like, oh, an NBA rival are playing each other. But like Kansas State will play the most random team in the Big 12 that's awful this year. But if it's a rivalry game, dude, it's going to be blood.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be blood.
So true. Now I think about that, like, NBA rivalries don't even fucking exist hardly, except like really the only one that's kind of out there because it was kind of created through narratives and shit talking was Warriors and Grizzlies.
Yeah.
But other than that, like who the fuck hates each other?
No one.
Nobody.
And because there's no pride. Like that's why I love college sports. Like that's your college. Like you have so much pride about that school. You want to represent that school and you want to beat the shit out of your rivals.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter in the NBA.
And there's like 6 teams that actually are worth a damn in the NBA. Everybody else is either tanking or mid or...
There's so many mid teams in the NBA. That's a conversation we should have in the next episode. There are so many... there's no other professional sport where there is that large of a layer of just mid teams.
Yeah. I feel like baseball, too, could have that argument. There's so many mid
There's
teams.
not mid baseball teams. There's bad baseball teams. There's like mid NBA teams.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, what are we even... What are we
Who's
doing?
the most mid team?
Yeah, like what are we doing
Who's
here?
the most mid team you can think of?
That's a great question. The most mid team in the NBA, I feel like I'd have to say...
Sacramento Kings.
No, they're sick this year.
Yeah, they're pretty mid.
No, I'd put them on the top tier.
Really?
Of teams.
Yeah, they're getting back there. But
I would put
they're heading in the right
Houston
direction.
Rockets.
That's weird. That's exactly what I was
just
going to
so
say.
mid. Like, what are we doing? Our rookies aren't great. We don't have a big star. Like, what are we doing over in Houston? I'd also say, I'd go ahead and I'd also go, honestly, dude.
Orlando Magic.
They're kind of on the come up, though, I feel like.
They're mid, though. They're mid.
But they're not, though. They're kind of on the come up. If they played the Rockets, they'd beat the shit out of the Rockets. That's, they're not mid.
Okay.
Like, who would play the Rockets where he'd be like, oh, that's a 1 point spread? You know who's mid?
The Hornets.
The Raptors.
I mean, how can you say the fucking...
The Hornets are just bad.
The Hornets
That's
are
just
bad.
a bad
That's
team.
a bad team. That's a bad team. Probably
That's
one
a
of the
bad
worst
team.
teams, for sure.
That's a bad team.
Wait, did you say it was mid?
The Raptors.
Raptors are pretty mid.
Like,
I'll give you that.
There's just not... When I go mid, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are the Raptors doing right now? Like, there's really nothing on that roster where you're like, oh, it looks like maybe a couple pieces away. Like, they're just winning games to win games. There's no, goal.
Raptors are... I feel like the Raptors are better than the Kings.
I don't know, dude. That Kings team, they light the beam this year. They've been lighting the beam this year in Sacramento.
They have a weird...
I like the Kings, dude. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. Like, that's not a mid team. That's a good team.
I feel,
the Raptors are just mid.
Yeah.
And the Rockets are just mid.
I mean, I thought the same thing, and I took Kings ML against the Raptors, and the fucking Raptors won by 25.
Yeah, but the Raptors just win games to win games. There's no objective in the season. I feel like in that locker room, they're not like, yeah, we're competing for a championship. They're just like, let's go play some basketball, maybe get a couple wins under our belt. You know who's mid? The Lakers. The Lakers are mid as shit.
They are mid.
So mid. God, you could literally go the entire NBA. I would say there is one hand good teams.
Yeah.
One hand bad teams.
Everybody else is mid.
Just everyone else.
Facts.
Pacers mid.
Pacers are so mid.
So mid, dude.
So
Thunder mid.
Mid.
But building.
They're
Building,
like
but mid.
the only team that I feel like actually has a foreseeable future with their rebuild. Anybody else that's in rebuild mode, I feel like is just kind of going through the motions.
The Clippers mid.
I hate the Clippers, bro.
Nets mid. Knicks mid. There's so many mid teams, dude.
I mean, again, but it also isn't part of just injuries and,
Celtics are good. Warriors are good.
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies are good. Bucks are good. Sixers are good.
Sixers.
That would be it for good.
Yeah.
Bad, you got the Hornets.
Pacers. I mean, I feel like the Pacers are pretty
You think
bad.
the Pacers are bad? I'll put them at bad. Pacers, Hornets. Who else is really bad? We're definitely missing someone.
I know. Think about the West. Who's in the West?
I know. I'm trying to think of bottom.
Rockets.
The San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, God.
What are they doing over there, dude? What are they actually doing over there? Like, it's been since I was 12 that the Spurs made any sort of noise.
I feel like when the Spurs fell off, that's when the NBA started falling off. For real, dude. Like,
Demise of the Spurs led to the demise of the NBA as a whole.
Like, the Spurs were the epitome of how basketball should be played.
What's crazy is the Spurs and the Detroit Pistons are both like last in their conferences, and those were like the two teams that were just dirty.
Detroit Pistons also bad.
Very bad. Very bad.
Very bad. Should we make a 30 for 30? The demise of the NBA starts with the demise of the San Antonio Spurs, dude.
I mean, but for real, though, they were like the example
of
how you should play basketball.
The minute they got rid of Kawhi and that whole whatever you want to call that was the minute they were dead.
Yeah.
It was like the Spurs are just like awful.
Yeah.
But how is the rebuild taking that long? They don't even have a piece where I'd be like, that's the guy you build around. It's like Keldon Johnson, like one of the Jones brothers.
Fucking Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah. What are we? There's no Spurs fans left. You can't show me one guy or girl in America that wakes up every day the Spurs play and is like, honey, the Spurs are playing. Get the beers. Invite the neighbors over. The Spurs game is on tonight. Like, you can't find me one, dude.
No.
I don't think so.
Not in today's NBA. I just hope it gets better because I love NBA basketball.
It gets better in the playoffs.
It does, certainly. But guys just don't play defense. They're chucking up threes.
That's why I love college, because defense is like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just grit, and grinders.
It's just so good, bro. I love it so much. All right, well, I think that'll do it for another episode of TFM Bets. A little bit of a longer episode. We just wanted to recap the games. We like to keep the Monday episodes a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit more casual. We have some really great conversations planned for the rest of the week. We're going to talk the Super Bowl a lot. Probably going to beat that one to death. Not going to lie to you. And then I do kind of want to talk about next episode, midway through the season, NHL, NBA, where we're at with that, what we're thinking, college basketball look-aheads, and go from there. I think we got a pretty exciting couple weeks coming up. And thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you.
We'll be seeing.
Make sure you guys watch the Book It Sports Twitch surgical stream every day for 3 hours. Also share the pod with a friend, and we will see you when we see you.